Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode 36 of Wrestling with Brent. Um, the usual spiel. I'm gonna just be going over the wrestling reviews, shows of the week. I also just want to talk a little bit of wrestling news. Um, First, I want to say, before I get started in this, going through all this stuff, we had late news last night. Very late news. A wrestler that I liked, he was on the Indies and he was in the NWA for a long time, or the last few years. I saw him a couple years ago when I was watching NWA Power, and uh, his name was Joe Cephas on the Indies. In NWA, he got over with this character. He was Aaron Stevens. Damon Sandow WWE's bodyguard, like his sensei. Uh, Aaron Stevens, Sandow had in NWA, he had this gimmick where he was like a karate master. Uh, and this guy was his sensei, and he was called the question mark. And he was just a guy, you didn't know who it was. You didn't even know it was Joe Cephas. I didn't know it was Joe Cephas till, after he died, of course. But um, Joe Cephas played the question mark. Basically, it was this guy, and he had a mask on. He had a question mark on the mask, on the front of the mask. Um, and he really got over that gimmick in NWA, and he was very entertaining and very funny. Him and Aaron Stevens made a great team, a great duo on screen and on TV and in wrestling. Um, so I was very sad to hear about Josephus passing away. Also, before he was question mark, I saw him a couple years ago on the Indies. And some of Tommy Dreamer's shows in his House of Hardcore organization. I liked him then. Uh, when NWA first got started, rebooted back up by Billy Corgan. I want to say one of the first matches I had on YouTube. It was the Joe Cephas versus Tim Storm. Tim Storm, if I'm not mistaken, was the NWA champion at that time. I did that whole run with him being the NWA champion when they first relaunched NWA, when Billy Corbin relaunched NWA. If I'm not mistaken, they had like a empty arena match, and it was very entertaining and hard hitting. Um, yeah, so I saw him wrestle a few times as Josephus. I really loved his question mark character in NWA. It got really over with the fans and everything. I wasn't really big into NWA. I liked it when it first started, the first few episodes, when NWA Power first came back on, Billy Hogan first launched it up. I watched like the first season. Uh, it was interesting when they brought in some new talent and the promos and skits and all the stage setup was cool because it was like old school wrestling. But the wrestling wasn't very good. And after like the first season, I got away from it, got out of it. Um, but yeah, and Question Mark was one of my characters that I just really enjoyed every time I watched NWA. Super talented guy, and just sucks that he passed. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss watching his matches, and I'm gonna miss his question mark character. He was a really talented guy. So I just want to say R.I.P. to question mark. Uh, yep. All right. Also, in other wrestling news, it was announced late yesterday. It was really shocked me anyway. Um, Paul Wight, formerly the Big Show in WWE, also the Giant in WCW, he's all elite now. He signed with AEW yesterday. Supposedly a long-term deal, supposedly a big money deal. Uh, he is going to be a commentator. AEW has a new show. It starts in a couple weeks on YouTube on Monday night at 7 o'clock. It's called AEW Elevation, and he's going to be the commentator on there with, I believe, with Tony Schiavone. And he's going to be commentating, and he is going to wrestle too in his contract. He's also set up to commentate and wrestle, so he'll be wrestling some, but he'll be commentating mostly. And I was just really shocked by this move. I just didn't see it coming. Um, Big Show's been basically semi-retired. Um, but from what I read last night, and the rumor was that they couldn't, him and WWE couldn't come to terms on money. Um, and apparently AEW offered him a lot of money, so he took that. But I don't think it's that. I also heard too that, from what I was reading yesterday, they said that Big Show, a few weeks ago, if you all watch Raw, for those who saw it, Big Show was on Legends Night. And they did this whole thing where he got was one of the legends. He got beat up by Randy Orton with night vision goggles. Um, and also in the episode and on the show, Randy Orton throughout the night was going around insulting wrestlers and talking down to them and just trashing them, talking, junk to their faces. And in during the show, Big Show was one of the ones that Randy Orton talked down to. Pretty much made him look like a chump. Randy Orton made him just kind of look like a loser and just made him kind of look like a joke, to be honest. And Big Show just kind of, stood there and took it and just kind of put his head down and walked away. They said Big Show didn't like that. He didn't like the way he came out of um, that night, that episode, that shoot, whatever you want to call it, that angle. He didn't like it. And it really upset him the way he came off on that last angle. And that really got him unhappy with Vince and unhappy with WWE. Um, and he hadn't wrestled in a long time. As a matter of fact, the last time he wrestled on WWE, I want to say it was against Drew McIntyre, maybe, and he did have a really good match. It was one of them surprise matches where Big Show come out and said, "Oh, you want to put somebody around yourself? Try me." And Big Show gave him a really good match. It was either Drew McIntyre or Braun Strowman, because him and Strowman had a good match too. Um, I forget which one it was, but yeah. So I think this is a huge move by AEW. I think it's a good move, contrary to what other people are saying online. I think Big Show still has a lot to offer wrestling. Not only he could be a good commentator because he does have personality. He is a very funny guy, nice, likable guy. So he could end up being a really good commentator. But if he doesn't work that out, he'll be a good mentor and he's a good, big, notable name. Everybody knows him. Everybody knows the name. He is marketable. He's a name. He'll get attention, draw attention to the company, attention for the company, and he could be a good mentor. He's been around for so long. He could teach the young guys something. Everybody knows him, so that's good too. And also, he could end up. He's my personal opinion. I think he's got a lot left in the tank. The last couple of matches he had in WWE, I thought was very good. Um, just a couple of years ago, he had pretty much disappeared, and he had did an article, released some pictures or something where um he had actually went and lost like a bunch of weight, like 200 or 300 some pounds, and was in the best shape of his life and was really lifting weights and was really in shape and like on a whole new diet and stuff. And he just looked really good. I said he was in the best shape of his life. Um, said he was in the best shape of his life. If I'm not mistaken, after that he come back to WWE and they booked him in some no-name stuff. And I want to say he got hurt in a match against Brock Lesnar a couple years ago. Um, Brock Lesnar did a superplex on him and it hurt him, like the way he landed. Big Show landed, it hurt him or something like that, and that really gave him a setback, and he was out for several months after that. Um, that's what WWE didn't use him, but I could be wrong about that, but I believe that was the case. So I think this was a really good move for AEW. I think it was a smart move. I think he's got a lot left in the tank, and if done right, you could see him come in and have some good match, or even just help out maybe like Marco Stunt in a squash match, or like being an enforcer, for somebody. Um, yeah. Maybe, my opinion too, he could maybe be an enforcer type, for maybe to enforce with Sammy Guevara, to help, and him and Sammy take out Wardlow and MJF, or something like that, or the inner circle of what MJF is going to take over the inner circle. See how that's going to play out. But yeah, I was really just shocked by this news, and I was glad that AEW signed Paul because I've always been a fan of his personally. I just always thought he had a lot of talent. I never liked the way WWE booked him a lot. I always thought he could have been booked a lot better. Even though he did win several titles, and had some big matches, and he was in some storylines and all that. I just always thought he could have been done a lot better. Um, I really got a whole new respect for him, several years ago when I was noticing and heard that to be as big as he is, big guy as he is, an athlete, big guy. He never makes a mistake in the ring, and I think there's something to be said for that. Super talented guy. So I'm happy for him. I've always been a fan of his, so I was glad to see him in AEW. Yep. So that's really cool. Uh, Also, really quickly before I go to the views, I want to say too. A lot of people online have been talking about, but I was reading the other day. They said at the next AEW pay-per-view in a couple weeks, Revolution. Tony Khan has teased a big surprise appearance from somebody. They're having that big ladder match where they're having participants. Lance Archer just beat Ray Phoenix last night to qualify to be in the match. So we already know Lance Archer's in the match. And a few other people, is already guaranteed to be in the match. Tony Khan said there will be a surprise entry. He said he was going to wait, let everybody see it's a surprise. Because last couple pay per views in the ladder matches they've had surprises when Brian Cage made his appearance, uh, made his debut for AEW. Um, so this has really got me thinking about who could show up. I'm going to go out on a limb and just take a guess, and all these are wild guesses. I'm going to just throw a few names that I think could be. Marty Skrull, that's a controversial name. He's a really good wrestler, in my opinion. I think he's great. Big fan of his. He got in some legal trouble a few months ago. Stuff come out with him recently with the Me Too movement and then uh, sexual assault. And, he was the new booker and one of the main faces of Ring of Honor recently before the pandemic started, and they just hired him as a head booker to keep him going from the AEW. They offered him big money as a booking. He was actually booking the shows and wrestling, and all of a sudden he just kind of disappeared, and the allegations came out, and he released a statement. Said he was sorry and just asked people to leave the accuser alone, and then he just disappeared. Ring of Honor released him and he just disappeared. We hadn't heard from him since. As of the other day, they said he showed up at New Japan uh, on the strong TV show tapings for New Japan. Um, so that got my wheels turning, thinking maybe he could show up at the pay per view. Considering New Japan being stuff started being an AEW and everything, and AEW going to New Japan, like Moxley, fighting Kenta. So maybe this could be Marty Skrull. I have a feeling Marty Skrull will be a AEW eventually just because we're such good friends with the Elite. Um, he's been on being the Elite before several times. So Marty Skrull is a name I think could really show up, be a surprise entrance. Also, I think Kota Ibushi, with the recent New Japan people coming over. Kota Ibushi, with being his famous tag team with Kenny Omega, um, famous rivalries with Kenny Omega. Um, Two, there was a Golden Lovers tag team in New Japan. Kota Ibushi could be a big name to look out for. Showing up in AEW soon. Also, Kazuchika Okada. God, having him in AEW. Him against Kenny in a match in AEW. I mean, that's money all over. It could be an instant classic. I could see Tessa Blanchard, them bringing Tully Blanchard, Tully Blanchard, her dad being in AEW. I could see Tessa Blanchard, to really should really beef up the women's division, but she had to wrestle in a year or so, when she got married to Daga and all. She was taking time away from wrestling and all her, impact controversy. Um, we'll just have to see. It's just, and also very, very unlikely it could be Brock Lesnar. He is a potential free agent. I kind of hope it is. It'd be cool to see him in AEW, just to see him make an appearance, but uh, his style, ever since he got to diverticulitis, last several years in WWE, he changed his style when he very first came back to WWE a few years ago. And he doesn't really wrestle much. He mostly just street fights. Does a few MMA holds, takedowns, punches, hits a few suplexes in a row, hits an F5, and that's it. He doesn't really wrestle, put on wrestling matches. He doesn't do a whole lot of high moves or impact moves like he used to when he was young, about Lesnar at his prime, before he got into all the MMA stuff when he was the next big thing in WWE. Young Brock Lesnar, going up against The Rock and all that. And so yeah, it'd be cool to see him, but if he wasn't never in AEW, I'd be okay with that, whatever. So Brock Lesnar could be an option too, but I highly doubt it. All right, so now that's all for the wrestling news I want to talk about. Now let's get into the show reviews. Uh, all right, so here we go. First up is Ring of Honor. Uh, this was a very good show. I really liked it. I've been saying this every week since the They came up in the pandemic. Ring of Honor just been killing it. Another really good episode. They just put on such good shows. You could really make an argument that it's the best wrestling company going right now in the United States. As far as the big companies, it's uh, tons better than WWE, in my opinion. Yes, including NXT. Uh, oh God, it's absolutely killing Impact. I mean, I ain't even know ain't in the competition compared to Impact. Um, yes, it's right up there with AEW. I say them and AEW's neck and neck for who could be the best organizations right now in the U.S. Um, have to give Ring of Honor the edge, but AEW a close second. You could give them a tie. I mean, they're very similar. They're both just very good from top to bottom, in my opinion. I just really enjoyed the shows. Um, yeah, Ring of Honor is very different. Just honestly, it's going to sound weird to say and bad to say, but I think the pandemic is the best thing that could have happened to Ring of Honor. Being forced to take a break, the changes they made has really done well for them. Um, and that's losing Marty Skrull and his booking and him as a talent. That's was really a big blow to them, I think. And they've really, I think, just uh, them taking that break for a few months has really just helped Ring of Honor out tremendously, in my opinion. And, Ring of Honor is the best I've ever seen it, and I've hadn't really been a big Ring of Honor fan in years past. I've liked it, but I've been, I'm off. It's been off and on for me, up and down. Um, but now, I'm in the Honor Club now, and I watch it every week, committed to it, the pay per views and all. I just love Ring of Honor now. I'm just really into it. Um, I like I said, I went and saw one of their last shows before the pandemic. Recently in North Carolina. It was in conjunction with a joint show with NWA. It was a really good show, really fun show, and um, I've just really been in the Ring of Honor here lately for the last couple of years, and I just really like everything they're doing now. They're just really doing a good job. Yep. All right, so on to the show. The first, Quentin McKay starts to show up, um, hypes up the matches. First match, tag team match. LaFaction and Gobernale, Kenny King and Dragon Lee with Amy Rose against the Briscoes, Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe. It was a good match. I liked it. It was very physical. It was what you expect from all these competitors. Uh, Kenny King and Dragon Lee got the victory over the Briscoes. Kenny King got like a roll up pin. It was a very good match, in my opinion. I really liked it. I was very into it. It was very physical. Dragon Lee did a nice, really cool spots and flips and dives like he does. Dragon Lee is just so entertaining. One of my favorite wrestlers going right now. Kenny King did a good job. A lot of people don't like Kenny King. I like him personally. It's something about him. He can do all the moves. He's very athletic. He's a good heel, in my opinion. I like his promos and stuff. Um, so he did a good job as well. Both the Briscoes did good. They're just such a good tag team. They're just so interesting as on screen and as wrestlers and everything. They're just so believable and just seem so real and honest. And you believe in what they're doing and what they say. Um, so it was just a really cool match. I liked it. Match lasted about what 11 minutes and 7 seconds. It was a good match. Wasn't short. Wasn't long. Um, so Kenny King and Dragon Lee got the win. Uh, they pinned Jay Briscoe. Um, so yep, I was shocked a little bit by the win, but not really. I'm just always a little bit shocked when the Briscoes lose. Um, but yeah, it was a good match. I liked it. After the match, Flip Gordon attacked Mark Briscoe. Um, it was actually before the finish, and he was distracted by Jay Briscoe was actually distracting referee, and Flip Gordon attacked Mark. So that was cool. Um, so Kenny King and Dragon Lee will compete in a Pure Rules tag team match against Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship next week. So that should be a really good match. Uh, all of a sudden, EC3 comes out. He returns, confronted Jay Briscoe. He tells Jay Briscoe he's one of the few people he respects, but he wonders where Jay's honor will take him. He tells Jay that he's free and has his own destiny in his own hands. So it was a cool pun by EC3. I'm glad he's back. Always good to see EC3. Always been a big fan of his. great wrestler, great talent. I like his promos, good look, super talented guy. EC3 is one of my favorites. Uh, all right, for the next match, singles match, Mike Bennett against Taylor Bateman with Vita Von Starr. Mike Bennett got the win. He beat him with a power driver to win the match. The match won about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. It was a good physical match. I like Mike Bennett. He's got a lot of talent. I like Bateman. They're both talented guys. It was a good match, physical, in your face, aggressive. I liked it. Um, After the match, Bateman was attacked by Matt Taven. Uh, Mike Bennett and Taven threatened to break Bateman's ankle, as Vincent Bateman did to Bennett. Um, if Vincent did a great time match against Taven, Vincent spoke up on the mic on the Tron backstage and like a promo said he spoke up and said he refused the match. Uh, After that, Vincent. After that, Matt Taven hit Bateman's leg with a chair. So that was cool. So Matt Taven and Mike Bennett basically did the same thing to Bateman that Vincent did to them. So that was cool. Uh, Next, we got a video package hyping up the World Ring of Honor World Championship match between Rouge and Shane Taylor. That was a cool video package. Uh, Maria Kanellis comes out and she joins Ring of Honor and Caprice Coleman on commentary. I thought she did a good job. I've always liked Maria. It's a shame how they used her in WWE as a kind of a joke, her and Mike both. Um, I like Maria. I think she's beautiful, a good wrestler. I like her husband as well. Maria's a talent. A good singer back in Ring of Honor and being used good. Um, she's got that Facebook group thing now. She does Ring of Honor on Facebook, and I joined that. It's pretty cool, the experience. But anyway, so on to the match. Next, we have a Ring of Honor six-man tag team championship match. It was a six-man tag team match. Shane Taylor Productions, Shane Taylor and the Soldier Savagery, Bishop Khan and Malcolm Moses against the Mexi Squad, Bandito, Flamita, and Ray Horse. Ray Horse has become one of my favorite wrestlers. You know, he was had that awesome match a couple weeks ago against I believe it was Dragon Lee, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Very good match. I love that match. I actually watched it twice. I liked it so much. Great, it was such a great fun match. Um, and I'm a big fan of Bandito. Bandito is awesome. Yep. I think this is my first time seeing Flamita too, and he did a good job. It was a very good match, fun match. I knew it would be having all these wrestlers in it. Like I said, Shane Taylor is one of my favorite wrestlers right now. So is Ray Horse and Bandito. Um, Shane Taylor, man, over the last couple months is really just on a roll. His punches, he puts on good matches, very hard hitting, physical, aggressive in your face. Does good promos, very believable. Strong, athletic, he can fly. He can jump off the top rope, he can do top rope stuff. Big man stuff, he can fly around, he's awesome. Uh, awesome. Uh, Anyways, it was a good fun match. I liked it. Um, Shan- uh, Shane Taylor Productions won. Shane Taylor hit his finishing move, Welcome to the Land, to Flamita to get the win. So it was a really good match. I liked it. It was an 8 minute, 58-second match. Not short, not long. It was a good match. I liked it. Um, so they have it. The new champions, the new trios, six-man tag team, the new trios champions match. Um, Shane Taylor Productions, Shane Taylor and Someone Savage, Bishop Khan, and Malcolm Moses. They beat the Mexi Squad. So it was a really good match. I liked it. Yep, it was awesome. Uh, so really good match, a really good show of Ring of Honor. I really liked it. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Very solid show. Ring of Honor killed it again. Great show. 7 out of 10 for Ring of Honor. All right, now on to the AEW show. I hope I haven't been talking too much, trying to go as fast as I can and not try to tie everybody up and not try to make a really long show. So here we go. I really enjoyed this AW episode. I thought this was very good. One of the best ones out of recent weeks, in my opinion. Just the progression of storylines and some things that happened I thought was just really cool. Um, so a very good show. I give it 7 out of 10 as well. I'm gonna go a little bit higher than what I was originally going to say. So I gave Ring of Honor 7, so I'm gonna give it a 7 because I thought this was a really good show as well. 7 out of 10. So here we go. I'll go over it really quickly. Um, the first match, we had John Moxley versus Ryan Nemeth. Uh, was a good match. Like I said, those that don't know, Ryan Nemeth is the young brother of Dolph Ziggler. Um, he looks a lot like Dolph, and the wrestlers are like him. Does a couple of Dolph's moves. His character is the Hollywood Hunk, and I think he did a good job with it. Good on promos like Dolph is. Um, uh, and he's been good on Dark too, getting some wins, and he's also been a good job of getting his butt kicked. I thought this was a good quick squash match for Moxley. Good little tune-up match for Moxley. It was a good match. I liked it. Um, Moxley, dominated a lot of the match. Um, he basically ends up planting Nemeth with the paradigm shift to get the win. So after that, John Moxley cut a promo talking about his barbed wire match. Pretty good promo. He talked about willing to crawl through the mud, blood, and barbed wire. Necessary to take the title back from Omega. It's a pretty good promo. I liked it. Moxley's promos are always good. This wasn't a great promo as usual like he does, but it was a good promo. I liked it. So it's a good match, a good promo after the match by Moxley. Yep. Uh, Now we get a video package showing Lance Archer and Ray Fix from last week on Dynamite. After finding out they'll be squaring off against each other, on the qualifying match. Archer cut the interview off and says he's the reason they made a good tag team. Phoenix said he was. So him and Fitz kind of go at each other on the video package. Uh, Archer attacked Phoenix. Lucha Brothers attacked Archer, bounced his head off some crates. They bar a little bit. The segment ends. Next, the Young Bucks arrive with their parents. And they did this on the Elite. They showed the footage from last week on Dynamite when Young Bucks' daddy stared down the inner circle. Um, so this just showed the Young Bucks showing the Bucks parents showing looking at the trailer, the AEW's trailer, the face on the trailer. Um, all right, so it was cool seeing all that. And you actually find out it's something with them later on in the show that happens. Uh, uh, Next match, Ricky Starks and Brian Cage versus the Varsity Blondes. This was a good match. I like both teams. Ricky Starks and Brian Cage looked very good in this match. Varsity Blondes looked good. It was a pretty quick match. In my opinion, it was a good match. I liked it. Um, Ricky Starks did some cool moves. Brian Pillman Jr. got Varsity Blonde got some offense in. Brian Cage looked like a beast. Eventually, Cage got in and hit his drill claw finisher for the pin and got the win. Um, so there you have it. Ricky Starks and Brian Cage beat the Varsity Blondes, Pillman and Griff Garrison. It's a good match. I liked it. Um, After the match, Sting and Darby Allin attack Team Taz. Uh, the match ends. Taz is gloating on commentary. He's talking junk. Uh, Sting's music hits. Uh, Darby's nowhere to be found. Sting comes out. He comes out carrying a body bag. They undip the body bag, and it's Hook from Team Taz, Taz's son. And Tad's freaking out, cussing on the mic, freaking out. And then all of a sudden, Sting points up to the Raptors, and Darby Allin comes down from the Raptors, swinging like Sting used to come down from the Raptors in WCW. Darby Allin comes down from the Raptors, carrying his skateboard, and he came in and hitting everybody with skateboards, and it was really cool. Um, and then Sting hit Brian Cage, and they brawled. Sting got in some offense, got some shots on Brian Cage, uh, put Brian Cage in the corner, did the Stinger splash, and then did the Stinger death drop. And it was just really cool to see Sting finally get some offense in on Team Taz and Brian Cage. And Sting looked good, I thought. Yep, so I liked it. It was awesome. Uh, this was a cool segment. I liked it. Liked the match. I liked the segment afterwards. Very cool. Um, seeing Darby Allin just come in on that wire and just come in, from the rafters, I just thought it was really cool. I loved it. And Sting getting physical too. I liked that too. Finally, they get a little bit of retribution on Team Taz, beating them up, every single week. It seems like. By insulting them and beating them up and stuff. Yep. Especially that powerbomb Sting took last week, which I still couldn't believe he took from Brian Cage. That looked nasty. Uh, Now we get a video package, Tony Schiavone with Miro, Kip, Sabre, Bobby Ford. It was good. I liked it. Um, well, after the video package, we get another video, and it's Tony talking to Miro, Kip, and Penelope, and I liked it. Miro had some good insults. Uh, said Chuck and Trent. Chuck looked like the walking Xanax or something like that. I thought it was funny. So it was a good little segment. I liked it. It's always good to see Penelope on screen. She's beautiful. I love Penelope Ford. I like big fan of Miro. I like Kip. All right. So it was a good segment. I liked it. Um, all right. Next match we have Brandon Cutler and Jake Hager. Uh, this was a good match. I really like Brandon Cutler a lot. Here lately, last few months on Dark, he's got a lot better, and I like his new interest, fame, and music and everything, and his whole dragon character from Dungeons and Dragons, because he's such a big Dungeons and Dragons fan. He's done a really good job. I was hoping he was going to have a really good match against Hager, and it was good. I was hoping he was going to get the win. But this was all designed, to get Hager, just a win under his belt and make Hager look good. And Cutler did that. Cutler's a good job, and I like Cutler's a good wrestler. He has a lot of talent, and I'm a fan of both these guys. I think they're both good wrestlers. This was a good squash match for Jake Hager. I thought they both looked good. Hager got the win. Um, Hager got him a big clothesline, so Hager looked really good in this win. He needed it, um, needed to win. So Reed looked good too. So Jake Hager got the win for clothesline. He beat Brandon Cutler. Next, the Young Bucks come out and are talking. They get interrupted on the video screen, and it's Jericho and MJF, and they're talking. Next thing you know, there's like, we got your dad, and they point down and they're holding Young Bucks' dad together, holding him by the head. He's bleeding. They ram his face to a trailer, both sides of the trailer. Jericho runs him in one, and MJF runs him in the other, and they trash talk him, and uh, they smack Papa Buck's head up against the trailer twice, and they show his hand going across in blood on the trailer. It looked really cool. You could tell the blood looked faded, but it looked really cool. From what I read earlier online, they said Papa Buck, the Young Buck's daddy, wanted to make it real as possible. He wanted to actually cut himself open and make it look real as possible. But AEW shut it down and said no, which is fake blood. But he sold it well, and I thought it looked really good. Jericho and MJF did some good insults and made it look, like a good beat down. Just made them look really heelish. Um, Before they left, Jericho and MJF posed at the same time. I thought that was funny. Matt Jackson took off after them in the parking lot, and they showed them like teasing them, like who got you? And they was just going away in their SUV. And showed Matt looking upset in the parking lot, and Nick looking upset in the ring. So it was a really cool segment. I liked it. Good beat down. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. Um, Again, Papa Buck, the Young Bucks parents looked really good on TV for the second week in a row. So I thought that was cool. Uh, Then they also show later on the Young Bucks upset, obviously, and shows the Good Brothers. I believe it was Doc Gallows. He gets in the ambulance with the Young Bucks daddy, as they show taking the Young Bucks daddy to the ambulance. And they show him driving away in the ambulance. So I thought that was cool seeing that too. Um, yep. Uh, so it was a really good segment. All that was really good. I liked it. Um, Next, they tell us Shaquille O'Neal's AEW in-ring debuts next week. The commentators hype up the showdown with Jade and Shaq against Cody and Red Velvet. Yep. They show an in-depth video package to promote the match, and the video package was good. Uh, Now we get a match, so I'm really looking forward to that match next week. Now we get a match between Isaiah Cassidy and Hangman Adam Page. Um, Isaiah Cassidy's heel character he's playing has done a really good job with it. I think he's wrestled better, and he's really showing out and getting better as a wrestler. Him and Quinn both, just every time I see them wrestle, they seem to get better and better. So I thought it was a really good match. I thought he looked good. I thought Hangman Page made him look good, and I thought he made Hangman Page look good. It was a really good match, competitive match. I liked it. I thought they both looked good. Hangman Page as well. Uh, uh, Hangman Page got Dark Order, came down the ring, uh, and they just kind of cheered on Hangman at ringside. Hangman eventually got in his dead eye finishing move that he does for the win. It's like a backdrop neckbreaker that he does. He put that on Isaiah Cassidy and got the win. So Hangman Page won the match, and they celebrated with Hangman. The Dark Order did. Silver and Reynolds celebrated with Hangman after the match. Um, as they're celebrating with him, the Page music cuts off, and Hardy's in an off-camera talking. Hardy's talking like a psycho, and talks about the Dark Order. Uh, talk about their match coming up. Uh, has a member of Dark Order, I believe it's the Iron Angels, and Hardy takes him and drags him and throws him off the stage. Thought it looked really cool, and he throws him really hard through a table. I thought that was really cool. So it was a good segment. Hardy and all looked good. A good match and a good segment after the match. I really liked the whole thing. I thought it was good. Yep. So now we get Alex Marvez in a promo, catching on video package, catching up with Kenny Omega and Don Callis. Um, and they're in a video package, and they're in a like a workshop. And Kenny Omega's just saying, briefly, and him and Cass just saying how Omega saying he's getting ready for his match, and shows him cutting up wood and all, weapons for the match. And I thought it was a good promo. I liked it. It's cool showing him in the wood shop cutting up wood and all that. It was cool. I liked it. Uh, all right, so now they go to a commercial break. Back from commercial, we have the AEW Women's Title Eliminator Tournament match. I really liked this match. I thought the main event was good, but personally, I thought this match is even better. I thought it's one of the best AEW Women's matches. I think slowly but surely, AEW Women's matches here lately, the divisions are getting really better. The women, you can tell, are really trying to do better and put on good matches, and they're starting to get consistent now. Week to week. The last couple of weeks, they've just been putting on really good matches. The women have, in my opinion. Um, it was a really good match. I thought Britt Baker was going to win. It was a very good competitive match, back and forth. Um, Towards the end of the match, Nyla Rose hit a beast bomb and Britt Baker kicked out. I was surprised that Britt Baker kicked out. I thought for sure that was the end. But Britt Baker hung in there and stayed competitive. Um, Reba got involved. Rebel got involved. Britt Baker's sidekick, manager, what they want to call her friend, got involved. Nyla Rose fought her off. Britt Baker really took it to Nyla Rose a couple times. Looked like it hurt Nyla a couple times. But Nyla weathered the storm and hung in there. It was a good competitive match. Uh, Nyla got her arm hurt during the match, but so it was affecting her some. But Nyla Rose was able to hit Baker with a second beast bomb. It was really cool. She caught up with one arm and hit it kind of out of nowhere. It was really cool. Really unorthodox way to do the beast bomb. And Nyla Rose hit the beast bomb and got the 3 count for the win. She beat Britt Baker. She's advanced to the finals of the U.S. bracket for the women's tournament. So this was a really good match. I thought it was the best match of the night. In my opinion, I thought it was a really good match. I really liked it. Very competitive. I'm a fan of both wrestlers, and I like both a lot. So really good match. I really liked it. Nyla Rose is your winner. She beat Britt Baker. All right. So it was a really good match. So after that, we have do a video package with FTR and Jurassic Express. It was a good video. We had Tully Blanchard talking. Apparently, Tully Blanchard's going to wrestle next week in a match, so that should be interesting. See what to do with that. I don't think he's going to wrestle. I just think he'll just kind of stand there and just kind of interfere in the match. Maybe do some cheap shots and just kind of stand on the apron and just kind of talk FTR through the match. Kind of cheerlead them on. Um, Next, AEW talks about Paul Wight, how he's going to be doing the new show and commentating is actually going to wrestle. So that was cool that he mentioned it. Um, Next match is the main event. Uh, the winner advances to the Revolution ladder match. I thought this was a really fun match. I liked it. Ray Phoenix matches are always good. Lance Archer had another really good match in AEW. Another really good match in a row. Lance Archer's really getting back to his old self. For what I've seen here lately, he's really getting on the road, getting consistent. AEW's finally starting to book him more, better, finally. And Ray Phoenix looked really good as well. It was a really good competitive match. Ray Phoenix did some really cool flying moves like he always does. There was a time that was going to they made you think that Ray Phoenix was actually going to pull the upset and beat Lance Archer. Um, Although it wouldn't really be an upset to me because I know how good Ray Phoenix is. Um, so it was a really good match. Ray Phoenix sells really good. Um, as Joe Cronin said on his show, Ray Phoenix does botch a lot, but that's fine with me. Ray Phoenix is so fast, who cares? He's so fast and he just does so many moves that, back to back. His work rate, just the way he works, and he's just always one after the other with him, with Ray Phoenix. He just always keeps, like the Indiana Bunny to me, he just keeps going and going and going. He doesn't stop. He just keeps going forward, going straight after people, going straight for you. He's really in your face, smash mouth style. So with that style, he can have his style works for him. He can have as many bodies as he wants. Who cares? Stuff he does is amazing. He gets a lot of height and everything, and a lot of impact in everything he does. Um, when he does his Torre Suicida, his suicide dives, what do you want to call it, way down to the ring and outside. Every time he dives and jumps so far that he almost goes right into the crowd. Every time it looks awesome. I mean, he shoots out like a cannonball, almost out in the crowd. Almost, it looks awesome. Uh, So just a very good, fun match. Eventually, to win the match, Lance Archer uh, catches Ray Phoenix and puts him up in the blackout, his finisher. Um, he actually kind of tossed and threw Ray Phoenix up in the air, and Ray Phoenix sold it well and got a lot of height on the blackout, and it looked really cool and devastating. Um, Phoenix basically fell in slow motion. It looked really cool. Also during the match and later on Twitter, Austin Gunn from the Gun Club, there was a spot where Lance Archer jumped over Jake the Snake. I'm sorry, Ray Phoenix jumped over Jake the Snake Roberts' back and did like a cannonball dive on the standing up on the did a cannonball dive on the Archer, and Austin Gunn actually on Twitter recorded it and did it slow mo, and it looked really cool. Yeah, so that was a spot in the match. It was really cool. Ray Phoenix did that like a standing senton uh, dive over on the Archer, jumping off of Jake Roberts' back, jumping over the steel steps. I thought that was really cool. Jumping over ringside steel steps. Uh, that's just another thing that made that match so cool. So it was a very good match. Lance Archer won to beat Ray Phoenix, got the win with the finish of the blackout. Uh, so there you have it. Lance Archer is going to be in the ladder match at the pay per view. So Lance Archer beat Ray Phoenix. Uh, Yep, so it was a very good match. I really liked it. So, like I said, all in all, I liked all the segments, the video packages, the storyline progressions, the matches in the show. I thought everything was really good. I really liked the show. I thought it was very good. 7 out of 10. Another great AEW show. AEW compared to WWE is just still just so much more exciting. It just seems a little bit more fresher. Yes, AEW has some mess up, some botches at times. Yes, sometimes the booking's all over the place and you don't know what's going on, which is okay with me. I like being surprised. AEW keeps you guessing. They're always bringing in new people, bringing fresh faces, doing new, different types of matches, and always having singles matches all the time. Um, the promos and everything, like I said, is done by the wrestlers, and the book is done by the wrestlers. It feels more fresh and more realistic and just more entertaining than and just fun. Like Joe Chris said, AEW is just a lot of fun compared to WWE. It's just more fun. It's just better in every way, in my opinion. Uh, so another really good AEW show, 7 out of 10. Another good week for AEW. Another good week for Ring of Honor. I was very sad to hear about Josephus dying, question mark dying. R.I.P. to him. I miss watching you wrestle. Thank you for the good matches you put on. And I was really happy for Paul Wight, Big Show signing at AEW. So glad to see that. We're looking forward to next week's AEW show. It's gonna be really good. Looking forward to that Cody match. It's gonna be really Cody and Shaq. It's gonna be really interesting. And we're looking forward to AEW pay-per-view in a couple weeks. I'll be reviewing those also. Of course, the AEW show next weekend and the AEW pay-per-view. Yep. So that's it, guys. Hope y'all liked this video. That's the end of the video. I will see you next week. Um, Hope you guys like my work, and hope you guys keep continuing to give me comments and support. I'd really appreciate it. Happy wrestling. See ya. Bye.